Hey, be a squid and subscribe to my mediocrity.
How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be doing the early access review for Hell Let Loose. I did this before with War of Rights, and this was to help people get out of that limbo state of mind where you're just kind of on the edge of buying the title, but you end up being held back because either you don't trust it necessarily, not to say that Hell Let Loose isn't trustworthy, but just, you know, Kickstarters, early access. We all know how these games in recent years have been launching and how, you know, scams and shit. We all know how it goes. I mean, look at El Rio or whatever that game was called that Lazy Peon talked about. That dude just literally scammed everybody out of like $7.1 million and he gave himself a salary of like $200K. So in a world where the games and whatnot are all question marks when it comes to early access, I'm just here to give you the straight facts and tell you from my experience whether or not I think the game is worth it for early access. So hopefully if this video helps you, please leave a like and subscribe and leave a comment down below about your experience if you have bought it, or maybe some reservations and stuff that I don't cover in this video, and I'll try and answer your questions as best as I can. Now personally, I love this game to a certain degree, but it just has some major red flags for me when it comes to the genre of game it belongs to. Hell Let Loose is what I would consider to be a milsim, and for those of you who may or may not know what that is, it's a military simulation style type game where it's hyper realistic, where you die in practically one shot. You also have to pay attention to things like topography and all sorts of other nonsense, and communication is at the utmost of importance. This ain't no local Call of Booty tournament or Battle Balls 4 bullshit. This is actual, and I mean, you got actual people's lives in your hands, and the decisions you make will cause your fucking team to lose. This is probably one of the most hardcore and vivid experiences I've ever had when it comes to a milsim game. I've played Rising Storm, Insurgency, Arma 3, and I guess War of Rights kind of counts. It's a milsim, just, you know, fucking Civil War. And none of these games even come remotely close to the anxiety-filled bullshit that goes on in Hell Let Loose. I'm sure some of you will debate that to a certain degree, but it's fine. It's fine. In my personal opinion, I think that it is one of the most realistic, anxiety-filled experiences out of all the milsim games I've ever played. Anyway, back to how this game makes you literally shit your pants on the regular. The maps are designed in a way where you can't see jack shit, which is kind of a pro and a con I'll talk about later on in the video, but you have to appreciate the design for a minute. I gotta be honest, I've never seen maps that are so detailed and well thought out to complement camouflage so effectively, not to mention how graphically beautiful it is. You know, when bullets aren't whizzing past your fucking skull and your squad mate isn't screaming about losing his legs, and you know, that kind of stuff. I also would like to kind of highlight the skybox really quick, and I'm putting it on the screen here, and look at that shit. Just look at that shit right there. I can barely tell that's a video game skybox. I'd have a hard time guessing if that was real if I didn't have any context to the situation. Like if you just put two of these pictures up at once and you were like, guess which one's fake. I mean, I'd maybe be able to guess it, but damn, is it good. Aside from the skybox, I want to talk about the gun details, and I mean the gun details, boys. I mean, they look fantastic. From the M1 Garand to the MP40 to the bar, the goddamn Browning, all these goddamn weapons, they all look so fantastic. Plus the sound design is on a whole other level of insanity. I have my shit turned down to like 4% because every time a grenade went off near me, I damn near about gave birth to twins, bro. It was that serious. And I mean, yeah, you're gonna get people that are saying, yeah, it's loud, but I mean, warfare is fucking loud. What are you expecting? But when it comes to the detail about the guns, if you just listen to the gun sounds, they sound so fantastic. And if you try and do like a comparison, like, yo, this Thompson versus like the IRL Thompson, it's pretty damn accurate. And I decided to do that myself just to kind of see where it comes from in terms of accuracy. And it's not exactly quite there, but I'd say for the sound design in terms of a video game, it probably comes closer than most. Now, after all of that buttery goodness and all those positivities, I'm gonna destroy your dreams of wanting to buy this game. Unfortunately, there are some severe negativities that keep me from recommending this game by any degree. First off, the community sucks ass, and I don't mean they're toxic. I mean, actually, they might be toxic. I have no fucking idea. You know why? Because no one ever speaks I find myself rarely getting into games where my squad is actually talking, or my squad lead for that matter is actually talking or giving orders. Even when they do, it's like 1 to 2 words and then it's back to radio silence for like 5 to 10 minutes, and it's not an experience that I really enjoy. When I have a squad lead, or when I'm squad lead, I am constantly in those comms. I don't care if you're annoyed with me, I don't care at all. I'm constantly giving orders and telling people like, yo, there's a guy over there, bogey to the south, southwest, or, you know, stuff like that. It's never like mindless chatter about, yo, I fucking just had a hot pocket, you want to eat my ass? Like, it's not shit like that. It's actual orders and actual conversation about what's going on in the game. That's how it should be, and instead, it's just, we need to take this position, alright, bye guys, let me know how it goes. When I'm squad lead, I'm generally trying to talk as much as possible to try and build at least a connection between me and my squad, so at least they'll listen / respect my orders when at least I say something. But most of the time, it's just silence from 90% of the squad, which literally blows so much penis. To give you an idea as to how important this negativity is, I'm gonna give you a scenario that happens every single game. So let's say your commander gives you an order and he says, Baker Squad, I need you to take the south point of the N30 highway. That's the order he gives you, right? So you relay that order to your squad and no one fucking listens and continues to derp around and basically do nothing but die. One, that makes you look like a shit squad lead because command probably thinks you ignored the order, so he stops even talking to you, and because you're probably not even worth talking to because you're not obeying anything. 2, you're literally going to lose the game. If every other squad is stretched thin, defending positions or pushing positions, and you're all they have to at least push in or defend something, well then guess what? You just lost the game because you refuse to go anywhere over there. And if your squad isn't going but you go, I'm sorry to break it to you, this isn't Call of Duty or Battlefield. You can't one-man push anything. It's just impossible. The game is not built around solo players. It just doesn't work that way. Communication and teamwork is so important. Aside from those 2 reasons, you also have to think about supplies and garrison points. These are where your team can gear up and spawn in to defend or push positions, and if command tells you, hey, I need to garry up on the southern edges, and your squad doesn't deploy a garrison or nodes to refuel tanks or ammo, I mean, well yeah, the game is basically a wash. Communication is so damn important, and there is barely any of it. I won't say that it's non-existent or anything like that, but it's just some days it feels like that. It really does. I don't even know how you could even remotely begin to try and fix this lack of communication issue. The game just heavily revolves around talking so much, and to force people to talk or else you get kicked out of the server. I don't know. Like, how do you do this? How do you fix it? How do you force communication on somebody? This is a mill sim. Like, if you bought this game, you should have known what you're getting into. So I don't know. It feels weird because there's nothing you can actually do to force someone to put on a microphone and talk. I think the weirdest part about this is that in this game that you're actually looking at in the background, I have the sound turned off or whatever, but there was actually a squad leader that I swear to God, he was at least 8 years old, and nobody was talking shit to him or anything like that. I think he was a pretty cool fucking dude. He was communicating, he was in the armored division, he was busting it down with tanks, and the thing that bothers me the most is that an 8-year-old is out here styling on all of us with a fucking Sherman, bro, and nobody can muster up the nuts to talk, and this 8-year-old doesn't even have nuts yet, and he's smoking Germans? Dude, that is... my mind is literally blown. Aside from all of that nonsense, another big issue that I have is... I also have no resolution for this either, by the way, but getting spawn killed seems to be a happening issue that I don't know how you would fix this at all. See, there's this strategy within Hell Let Loose where you find a garrison, right? And then you typically post up, like, I don't know, a few meters away, and then you just camp it, and whenever somebody spawns in, they just die. There's nothing you can do about it. And I literally mean that there's nothing you can do about it because there is some delay before you can actually move. So whenever you spawn in, you have about 2-3 seconds before you can actually move left or right. So no matter what, you're getting headshots, and it's just the worst shit ever. Somebody throws a grenade and like 5 people spawn at once, well, 5 people just died and have to wait through another 40-second spawn timer. It never feels good waiting to spawn in, and your spawn timer is like 40 seconds, and then you spawn in finally, and then boom, you're dead immediately, and then you're right back to where you started with another 40-second spawn timer. That is the worst shit ever, and it makes me literally rage quit this game on a regular basis. And also, this ties in with communication as well, because if your team at least opened their damn mouths every now and then, we would know that there's something happening. Like, just say anything, just be like, yo, the Gary's being spawn camped north of the highway, something on those lines, and at least I would know not to spawn there, and I can spawn somewhere else and flank around and clear out the bogeys. You know, if I'm another squad lead, tell me, give me information, because as squad lead, as long as my squad is with me and doing stuff, we can make things happen. So communication is key. Segueing from that, I would also like to point out that this game is a little weird when it comes to camouflage. I mentioned earlier that the camouflage and the map designs, there's a pro and a con to not being able to see anybody, and the biggest issue here is that I literally can't find anybody. I think I have a grand total of like maybe 12 kills on this game, and I've played about 50 hours, so it's a little tough. That's obviously a severe exaggeration, but I'm serious though. A game, if I get in when the game starts and all the way to finish, I maybe clock out with like 7 kills. And as I said, this is a good and bad thing. The bad part about it though is really worse than the pros, I gotta be honest, because whenever you play a video game, there has to be some sort of fulfillment, enjoyment from the video game, and whenever I die from some random person 60 miles out, or I don't even know from where realistically, and then I'm just dead, 40-second spawn timer, then I spawn back in trying to link up with my squad, and then I die again trying to reach my squad. It's just like, what do I do? What the fuck do I do? This game doesn't necessarily have the greatest tutorials. It's not like War of Rights or Arma where you could join servers and then there's like boot camp training. There's none of that stuff. It's just you get in and then good luck, dude. You can ask questions in the squad chat or in the leaders chat, whatever, but overall, this ties back again, communication. If nobody tells you anything, well, you're figuring it out on your own, and it sucks. It genuinely sucks because you have this amazingly beautiful game with great designs, and then the maps look fantastic, the gun design's great, the sound design's great, but you get no satisfaction from utilizing any of these factors. Unless I'm just gonna sit here and stare and like look at the fucking shitty ass designs and whatnot, and listen to the sound design. I mean, at that point, I might as well just go watch fucking Nano, where that guy just stands around and just, you know, he's just watching his teammates die for content. I mean, realistically, I'm better off watching a video, because then at least I can pretend that I'm being a part of something rather than trying to be a part of something, and it just doesn't work. These 3 issues are a huge red flag for me, and I low-key regret buying this game because of these issues. But at the same time, I have hope. I have hope that this will get better in time. Hell Let Loose as a game has so much potential and offers some of the most realistic gameplay I have ever had in my life. This game gives me actual anxiety from bullets flying past my head and to people literally having to depend on me. Like, when I'm a squad lead, these people, their lives are in my hands, and that shit makes my ass cheeks leak on the regular. But the immersion gets broken so easily with the no communication and the spawn killing, not to mention the constantly dying thing along with huge death timers. I feel like it's just not worth it. I play games to have fun, and when I have 20 minutes of downtime by the end of the match, it's just, that doesn't feel good. It's just not good. At the end of the day, I want this game to be amazing, and I already, to a degree, think it is amazing, but those major downsides are way too crazy for me to recommend this to a person that's skeptical. I just can't. I would rather say, you know, wait it out and just see what happens in the future. But as of right now, just take a hard pass, in my opinion. That's my opinion, though. If you do buy it and try it out, let me know how it goes. And if you want to, you know, play with me or something, maybe we can make something happen and have some kind of enjoyment out of the game. But that's going to be it for today, boys. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.